What's up, guys? Here we go. Wednesday night. The red light is on. I am shilling already. HKA USA, 20% off. There you go. Fight bananas. But boom, here we go. Guys, Dave Van Auken, L. Dawson's to my left. L, I haven't seen you in hours. How are you?
I'm good. This has been, guys, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
We were live for 2 different press conferences for PFL. We made it. Dave drove all the way back to Daytona.
I know.
After
I'm in Miami. I'm in Daytona. I don't know where I'm at. I'm in Texas. I'm in North Carolina. I don't know how I do it. But another guy who does it all, my man, Rafael Esparza. He's got a show right now. He's got a show later. We got a show on presidents. We got presidents getting shot at. We got WWE champions all over. We got Uncle Howdy. Raf, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good. And I'm working on the Emmy Awards right now. Odds too. Those will be out by tomorrow morning. And I want to represent, I got Arizona State. I just came back from Arizona. I was out in the West Coast visiting some family, and I went to Vegas for a while. But my niece is going to ASU grad, so I bought a polo in behalf of her. So go Sundowns. I love the old when they had the fork, where they had the teacher says "Go fork you." Oh, I miss those Arizona State T-shirts.
I love it. Arizona State. Shout out. There we go. All right, guys, let's get into it. It's a pay-per-view week. We love these. We love having Rafael on it. Not one championship fight. We have 2 championship fights. We also have Paddy the Baddy in his last fight on a contract against a really, really high-level fighter in King Green. Can't call him Bobby. His name is King Green. I'll call him by his real name. Respect to King Green. Also, some cool fights across the card. El, we love starting here. That's we did it. You nailed last week in Steve Garcia. I said let's just win a bet. You said Steve Garcia was going to get the job done. 4 fights in a row. By the way, his interview is on Fight Bananas right now with our guy James Lynch. He just dropped that 2 days ago. But El, let's win some money. What is the best bet of UFC 304?
So I consulted the interwebs before just to see if people agreed with my pick. And apparently I'm going to make some people really upset because, guys, the best bet on this card is Bobby King Green.
What?
100%. 100%, guys. This is nuts. These lines are absolutely insane to me. I think Bobby Green was disrespected when the lines opened. I think that it at least makes sense now that the lines are super close because these fools in the UK are just dumping money onto Paddy. Like, of course they are. Like, he's a superstar there. But my breakdown of this fight does not have to do with me not thinking Paddy is high enough level for the UFC. That's not what I'm talking about. I want to talk about the fact that Bobby Green is such an underrated fighter. And I think there's something really unique about him that people don't experience until they get in the cage with him. And that is his speed and the range. The range is so difficult to deal with. And how quickly he moves in and out. His hands are down. It's awkward. You also have to commend Bobby. Bobby always fights the same style. He moves his feet a lot. He's very quick in and out. He has a gas tank for days. And he always fights with his hands down. Even if he's fighting 6'3" Jalen Turner, he is constantly fighting like that. And you got to commend him for not changing up his style. Because if I'm fighting Jalen Turner, I'm covering up like crazy. Sure. But yeah. It's shocking to me that people are comparing Paddy's power and striking to that of Jalen Turner's. I don't think those things are even in the same universe. So it's just I'm very confused as to why King Green getting knocked out by a guy like Jalen Turner is comparable to Paddy Pimblett here. I think they're very different fighters. I think Paddy has great jiu-jitsu, but if we look back historically, the guys who are phenomenal grapplers who have fought Bobby Green have struggled to keep him down. We've seen Paddy struggle to keep guys that are not quite that level down, including Jordan Levitt. And if we're going off the Tony Ferguson fight, man, Green beat him way more dominantly than Paddy did. He out-wrestled him, as a matter of fact. So it's obviously different fighters for sure. But I think the speed of Bobby, the footwork, I think a thing that Paddy is always going to struggle with until he changes his lifestyle outside the cage is I think it's really difficult to have a massive weight cut and get better at the same time. And so it's very hard to see how out of shape he gets and imagine that he is training outside of camp super, super hard. You know, he's probably not. So if your entire camp is spent losing weight, it's really hard to pick up new skills. So I don't think we're going to see massive improvements. We're also seeing Patty's fighting out his contract. You don't do that if you're contending for lightweight title contention. Like you don't do that. You don't fight out your contract. You renegotiate after 3. Patty wants to leave the UFC. Like he wants to go off and celebrity box people for fat cash. In my opinion, I don't think he's in this fight. And I think Green is a guy who is constantly underestimated. He looked phenomenal against Jim Miller, who I think would be a very tough fight for Patty. And honestly, is a very similar style to Patty.
Sure.
They're built similarly. They have similar grappling strengths. They both have power in their hands. They both fight at a shorter length. Bobby Green's range is going to be a problem for Patty. And I am shocked that the internet disagrees with me.
Before this episode, Elle's like, I'm going to keep these nice and short. We just had a 6-minute Bobby Green.
That's why you were laughing. The rest are going to be really short, but I had to get that off my chest. Because everybody out there is like, yeah, Patty's the lock.
Green, Pimlet's the show. Before we go to Raphael, and the main question about Patty and being the UFC in Manchester and betting, before that, just devil's advocate real quick, a couple things you said about Patty and the contract especially, because I'm on the polar opposite side 180 about the contract. A confident person always rides out their contract. The basketball player, baseball player, UFC
not fighter. In MMA, not in the UFC.
I disagree. I think he knows if he beats Bobby Green, his price goes up everywhere. PFL, Jake Paul fight, or the UFC. If he loses to Bobby Green, his price goes down. For even all those, like even look at Mike Perry right now. Mike Perry's price is way down. Like it's a win or lose business.
As someone who talks to UFC fighters every single day, you don't do that. Nobody.
I know. But
the best guys in the sport don't do that. Like, and here's the thing too: if he wanted to renegotiate for a huge uptick in like pay, it would have been after the Tony Ferguson fight, which is the normal fight that people renegotiate after, unless they want to leave. Or they don't know what they're doing. Like the UFC.
No, I get that. I just think I think Patty thinks, not me personally.
You think he's just delulu about this? That this is a good idea to fight out his contract?
Yeah, I think he thinks he will be this blockbuster free agent that will get untapped on the market. That's what I think. So I think he's confident in this fight. That's why he's ready to write out this negotiation, if that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking. All right, Rob, if you want to drop on that comment of anything, you can. But of course, my main thing, especially with you, and I knew we were going to go there, Patty Pimlet fighting on a pay-per-view in Manchester, England. Like that's wild.
Well, one thing I'll say on that, I think Patty's going to get paid no matter what. Win or lose, he'll get somewhere. Someone will pay him money because of his name. Connor's nowhere to be found. Connor's not coming back. Patty is, I don't want to say he's the next Connor, but his namesake is going to be under. So he can box, he can go to another company, whatever, win or lose. I don't think his checkbook is going to be worried. This one intrigues me. This fight's in Manchester. Lines right now are minus 130 in Manchester for Patty as the favorite. We opened up July 3rd, I think it was 2nd or 3rd, when most of the fights, minus 180 for Green. Some shops have minus 170, and then the Patty money continues to flood it. I would not be shocked if he's the betting favorite by Saturday. I would not be shocked if he's minus 120, 125. So if you like Green, I say wait, because the whole card they're going to be singing before he even comes out. I can guarantee you they'll be betting Patty after meatball fights, even though I think she can go down because she has looked horrible her last couple of fights. So there's a big dog you might want to look at. So I think the money will continue to come in more after her fight, especially if she win or lose. The crowd's going to be pumping. They're going to be singing already. So you said that, not me. But I think he will be the favorite in this fight, both countries, England and here in the States. Now, this is one of those fights I always tell people, don't bet it. Just sit back and watch it, because both outcomes you said would not shock me. It would not shock me if Green comes out and maybe Patty's thinking about celebrity boxing, PFL, movies, whatever, and he doesn't come well prepared, and Bobby, King, just outboxes him, out MMA him, and takes a decision. And it doesn't remind me of maybe Patty just being too big. The reach might bother him, and he may take this fight in a second round. I see Green winning distance. I see Patty winning probably in the late second.
Here's my last 2 points on a fight like this where one guy gets a little bit overrated, I think, because of his name value. I like to look, I think we should all use our logic glasses and look at where the money is. The people who make money off of this are still putting Bobby Green as the favorite. The odds makers put Bobby Green as the favorite in Manchester against a Manchester superstar. I think that's huge. And I also want to speak to this. Like, I don't think it matters if Patty's confident. I don't think it matters if he's been training hard. I think the best version of Patty is not quite good enough to beat Green. I think Green is a really underrated guy. I think he gets disrespected a lot.
No, that I don't disagree with. Like, I don't disagree with it. My thing I would say is, to me, King Green as the best bet. Like, Tom Aspinall, we agree he's the best heavyweight alive.
Curtis Blaydes has a better chance. I think Curtis Blaydes has a better chance of winning his fight than Patty does. I do.
She is.
I think Curtis is really good. Like, those are super, both elite guys, and I think Curtis Blaydes has a lot of dangerous tools. I just don't see. I don't think Patty has the power to put Bobby away. I don't think he can hit him clean enough, and I don't think he has the wrestling to control him. The only guy we've really seen absolutely dominate Bobby Green on the ground is Islam Makhachev, who's like kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
Just a little. I think the co-main and the main event are scarier fights to bet than this one. I could be nuts. The rest of the internet thinks I am, but that's where I'm sticking with my gut. I'm going for it.
That's all right. So we talked a lot about Green and, of course, Patty the Batty Pimlet, who is a pending free agent after this fight. Guys, we usually go into underdog, but like I said, we were kind of rolling through it. If you have a major underdog, please give it. But let's kind of sneak into this co and main events. Blaydes and Aspinall. I feel like I don't want to say we've been on this guy. Most of the MMA community have, but I feel like, you and I mostly, especially in Fight Bananas land, for 18 months. It's not just this run and before Sergey and all that stuff. We're like, guys, Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight alive. Like this, you can just see him, how he moves, his quickness, his speed, his grappling, his submission, and how he finishes people, his stand-up, his power. The man's got it all. Curtis, great, wrestler, got power as well, but is a massive underdog. Massive here. Do you sprinkle a little bit on this massive underdog, or are we still just riding this Aspinall wave until the end?
I mean, yeah, that was what I was going to bring up as well. There's another reason I stayed away from the co-main and the main event for my best bet, and it's because I don't think they're the best value. So I think Bobby Green's the best value on the card, hands down. But yeah, if you like Curtis here, he's great value over plus 300. I don't think it's a fight that is impossible for Curtis Blaydes to win. He absolutely has the tools. He's a very well-rounded fighter. He has power. He's got super long arms. I have Aspinall. I think if you're a guy who just loves to bet the valuable players in this game, throw some money on Blaydes. Me personally, I think Aspinall's a pretty solid play. I think I'd be more interested in using him as a parlay piece or possibly a prop bet.
Rob?
I agree. This card screams dog, and for me, this card screams could be a very, very bad evening for Dana White.
Ooh.
Let's say Curtis Blaydes wins. Then the heavyweights all jacked up. Let's say his arch enemy, Muhammad, wins against Leon Edwards. He does not want him to have a belt. And let's say Pamlet loses and decides to do celebrity boxing. This could be one of the worst evenings for Dana White in a very, very long time. So I love me some controversy. I love me some stuff. And it all could happen. That's a scary part. I mean, Curtis is looking for redemption. Muhammad's looking for some respect. Patty might be looking for celebrity boxing or more money at another company. All three can actually happen. That's what scares me. I might be watching this. I'm like, because I know I met Dana White many times. Met him at the Palms. He used to come at Aria with their layoff action with him and Fertitta brothers and stuff like that. And he's a nervous bettor. Probably not now because he's got a lot of money, but back then he was a nervous bettor. So he might be a very nervous guy watching this because he said some 3 bad nightmares could happen for him in one evening. But I think Aspinall I believe he's a better fighter, but heavyweights, anything can happen in a heavyweight fight. Anything
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what's going on in the chat.
I saw. I'm like, what? I thought maybe you're just trying to get Ascot on a date. I'm like, sheesh. I'm like, I feel uncomfortable.
John Jay,
I log off.
Cheers to you, my man. Cheers to you. But
Thanks,
real
John.
quick, back to the one thing I will say, and we had a discussion last night. Me, El, and Grant talked about Bilal Muhammad and Leon, and I don't want to peel back the curtain too much, but let's just say the Dawsons were pretty high on Leon and his skill set and what he can do in the welterweight division. And I was picking Leon too, but then I really just like Bilal's momentum and just where he's at. And then I know little stuff. I say this all the time. I will always go back to the Alexander Volkanovski because I feel so vindicated in how he looked and the grandpa thing and how Makhachev knocked him out in the, very early in that fight. What did you guys see when Leon walks into that elevator and Bilal Muhammad is like he almost stepped up to him. Like he didn't shy away to the champion. He wasn't starstruck. He wasn't angry either, like a false kind of that kind of stuff. He like stepped up to him. And I'm telling you, I do like where Bully is at, his momentum, his confidence and stuff of that nature. And that could be a sleeper. That could be a shocker in that main event.
Dave uses the most random things to justify bets, I swear.
It's
the way Bilal looked at Leon in the elevator that one time.
And he's the one that hit the one
I'm
number.
over here, I'm like analyzing.
One thing that bothers me about this card, it's a fantastic card, but it's a lot of chalk. And that's why I say it could be a dog barking night in Manchester because you figure the main event probably going to close around 260, 265. The co-main event, Aspinall, in his backyard could close probably to $4. Patty could probably go as, like I said, he's going to be the favorite. Meatball could probably be close to $5 favorite. I mean, there's a lot of big numbers on here. So there's going to be, I think, a lot of parlays be crashing down because I do think some dogs will be barking in Manchester.
Another really good fight on the main card, maybe like in a really sneaky way, maybe the best fight in the card, Giga and Arnold Allen. Were you guys on that? El, were you on that fight?
I have no picks to give on this fight. I think we could see an Arnold Allen decision that's absolutely like 30-27. I think we could see a Giga Chikadze liver kick finish. I would lean Allen for sure, but I'm just happy to be watching this fight.
Yeah, me too. I'm like Allen decision.
Yeah, I'm really pro Allen on this one. I don't know. I feel like was it like 2 fights ago? Giga just seemed really lost, seemed really down. I know Calvin Kattar fight was way in the back, but I feel like there was a fight post that he just looked really, really bad. I just feel like he never kind of gained that momentum that he had before the Calvin fight. And Arnold Allen to me is a very, very highly underrated superstar. Like Arnold Allen, I have on a high level. I know it's 2 losses in a row. It's Max Holloway and Mozart, right? Like everyone loses to those guys.
Yeah, Mozart.
Yeah.
And he had a really competitive fight with Max too.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the few young bucks that didn't get absolutely annihilated when they met Max Holloway,
Maybe
so I think
Mozart was there today, wasn't he?
What's up?
I saw Mozart was there today, right?
At the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he was in there when we.
I don't know. I wasn't invited. I don't know if I say I wasn't invited. So I
did not know what you were talking about for a second. Just so you know, I do have a dog I like. But we can do that last if you want.
Right now,
I think there's value in Manel Kopp.
Did you see them fighting at the hotel?
Yeah, but he always does that.
This fight is not going to happen.
That's Manel Kopp. If Manel Kopp's not fighting somebody on fight week, then I'm worried. Like I definitely feel like his size. He is so big. for that weight class. I think Mikhail will have a really hard time getting him down, keeping him down. He struggled quite a bit with Perez. Alec, he had a really razor thin decision win over Alex Perez, who is a stud in the flyweight division. But I feel like Kopp has a lot of the same attributes. You know, he's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he hits hard, and he's got good grappling. Like he's a very well-rounded, tough guy. And with this being 3 rounds too, and Mikhail sometimes slowing down towards like in that third, I think Manel will be able to keep the pace and keep it up. So I think there's a lot of value in him. I expected those lines to be almost even money, to be honest.
If the fight happens.
That's true. There is a very good chance that Manel Kopp will miss weight and nothing will come of that. But
this fight is not happening.
Really?
I like Leroy Duncan in this fight. I think that's a nice fight. I mean, the number's getting out of hand now. I'm like, oh, it was minus 125. It opened up, dropped down a little bit. Now it's up to minus 150, 160. So my luck, I'll keep on climbing. I think that I'm more interested in that one. But again, as an odds maker, stuff like that, I've said this to one of the shows I did this morning. This is one of the ones that I'm not worried about parlays because I still think someone is going to shock and awe something in this fight as an underdog that's going to wipe out a lot of parlays.
Yeah. This is the best sign off I've ever seen. Sugar Sean is the GOAT. Yeet. Thank you, Shelby, for joining.
Yeet. He said a yeet.
You yeeted. Yeeted on out of here. Thanks,
Yeah,
Chris.
that was our third ever female watcher right there, Shelby.
Let's go, Shelby. Her and Queen Bee killing it in the comments. She said yes. Appreciate you.
What a stud.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's good value there. I wouldn't be surprised either. I think especially earlier on the card, there's some good dogs. I kind of like Molly. I think Molly might have the power to get this done. Bruna got knocked out. She's always a catch-22, but she's looked better at strawweight. She's always kind of hit or miss, but she looked much better at strawweight, you know.
But
so
the price is just too high.
Yeah,
it's just too high.
I agree. I think if you're going to bet that fight, it makes sense
last
to go
2 to 3 fights, she should not be minus 350.
Yeah,
no
wild.
chance.
That's wild. Against a girl who's like new. Like it's not even like a seasoned vet that's like with a 500 record, like most of her wins. Like it's kind of bizarre that the lines are that wide. But I do kind of think it's not a good bet, but I do think she might get this done, especially in
Patty and all we'll hear is Patty and meatball parlays, Patty and meatball parlays, Patty and meatball parlays. I'm like, give me a sandwich. How about
guess what? Neither Patty nor Meatball Molly are in my parlay, Raphael.
Okay.
Just for you.
All right, let's talk about what is your 3-fight parlay, Miss L. Dawson, the ruthless one.
All right, my 3-fight parlay is going to be Preston Parsons and Oban Elliott going over 2.5 rounds. I do think it will go the distance, but the over is plenty good value in my opinion. They both have solid chins. They're tough. They're decisionators. I think the only time Parsons didn't go to a decision is when he got knocked out by D-Rod, which was a short notice, big step up. And, you know, even guys he fought on short notice, like he wasn't finishing. So I like that to go the over. I think that's pretty solid. They're both tough guys. I don't have a winner there. I also really like Kalen Lawframe to beat Jake Hadley. I'm kind of surprised to see Hadley here at 135. He's not a big guy. I know he's a short notice replacement, but I don't think he'll stay. Like, I don't think he's going to stay at 135 by any means. I think he's too undersized for that division. And Lawframe's huge. He's not tall, but he is like, dude is built like a bowling ball. Like he's like 135-pound Nathan Schulte. Like that's what he looks like to me. Like he is so big and he has the power. I don't think Hadley's going to carry his power that he has at flyweight up to 135 here. I just think he's going to be super undersized. And I feel like the value is still pretty solid as a parlay piece. He was like minus 200 last time I looked at. And then I really like the main event to go the distance. I think Bilal looks like he's in great shape. I expect him to be able to push a pace. I think Leon Edwards is world-class at slowing down fights and controlling the pace of the fight. I think people who think he's like, oh, he gets tired. I don't think he gets tired. I think he is so good at making his reads, finding his jab, and then controlling the range where it's really dangerous and difficult for his opponent to be able to press forward and cut through, And so I feel like that just his style alone, I still have him winning. I was really impressed with how good Bilal looked. I do think he'll be in shape, but it's definitely this is going the distance, guys.
I like it. Rob, it's hard, a 3-5 parlay. You were saying this. I think you've been kind of hinting at this all night. Parlays are just going to get busted all through these cards. What do you say about Parsons over 2.5? Lockney getting the win, and then
I like the Parsons fight.
Okay,
the best one was the Parsons fight. I like that as probably one of the better ones that I saw. Even on my best friend Rick Allen says gambling is bad, so I don't want to go on that one. But I do like that one. But like I said, this card you have to be very, very careful because you're fighting in England where you're going to get so much money. Money coming in the U.S. might be offsetting the money that's going in England. So you have to be very careful on choosing your numbers. Like I said, if you like the king, wait, because I think you're going to get a better number because of the money coming in on Patty. I think the same thing with Leon Edwards and all. I think this number comes down a little bit. I think you could probably get down to minus 230. You might want to wait on that one. So be very cautious on this card because, big names, but a lot of chalk. And I think we're going to see some dogs barking.
I like it.
Look at Jack's saying England's gonna have a clean sweep. We will see.
He says, "Trust me,
bro." Source, trust me, bro.
Yeah. Source.
Shelby stuck around. She didn't even leave. She yeeted out and came right back. Shelby, I will believe that fight is happening when the cage door closes.
Yeah,
it's never gonna happen. Shelby, you've been such a stud. DM Fight Bananas on Facebook or Instagram, an address. If you want a hat or a shirt, we're gonna send you a hat or a shirt.
He's always here when I'm on, so yeah.
We love female watchers. Elle literally talked about our analytics today and how we have
bring your friends. We need more.
We need more. Elle and Maddie has a Sunday
always
show.
Here. Shelby's always here. She's great. She's fantastic to you guys. I watch your shows and she's always in the comments, so she's fantastic.
Shelby, shout out. So DM us. Yeah. We'll send you whatever you want. If you want a shirt, your size, or a hat, we have a HKA hat somewhere here. We'll send you something else. So appreciate it. Ralph, what's been going on in your personal and life and shows, and you got the coach and you're all over the place. Chill for a minute. Make some money.
Yeah, I got another show right here. I'm on the MMA Holes show. That's right after this to talk about some 304. And then I got some wrestling stuff. I got SummerSlam coming up with the coach and all that. I will be at Cleveland for that, so it should be fun. So it should be fun. I'll grab some merch for your son, Dave. Just let me know who's his favorite guy. I'll grab some merch. It's fantastic. I've had some great meetings with Netflix. We're really close with doing some stuff for Netflix with WWE and Sportskeeda. We had some really good stuff with them. Had a nice meeting with Vince Russo. Funniest guy. Would talk about some stuff. Interesting stuff. We had time with him. It was very interesting. So just been very busy, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. All right, Shelby, if you ask, we will answer. She goes, Sugar or Marab? Sugar Sean O'Malley will defeat Marab. His striking's too good, too crisp. He's too long. He will get up. Dangerous. Marab might get him down. Sugar Sean O'Malley will win that fight.
I'm with you.
Too fast. Too fast. His hands are too fast.
Too many opportunities over 5 rounds for Sean O'Malley to knock out a guy who got dropped.
Cejudo knocked him out. Knocked him down. Come on.
Yeah. No, I
Sugar
agree.
Shane will be. Sugar Shane's the only one that's going to beat Sugar Shane. Sad to say.
Sugar Sean.
Well, whatever. Sugar Sean. I got Sugar Shane and Mosley in my head because I was watching old boxing clips this morning.
I don't do that. We had Shane Mosley Jr. on the show last Tuesday.
Yeah,
last week.
I saw that.
You did.
I love it. I can't wait for Leon to finally shut up. What's that name? Bilal. He's talking way too much smack. He might have, but I'm not gonna lie. I like Bilal this week. I do. Bilal has been very confident, very strong. He's fighting for a world championship. He should be out of all weeks.
He's very prepared to be fighting for a world title at this point. I would agree.
Oh, I could hear Dana White just chills go down his back just saying that.
I love it. All right, we are out. L. Dawson, Rafael Esparza, my Dave Van Auken. That's my name, I think. Guys, we will be back live here in Fight Bananas Land in around 25 minutes. We have an hour-long Island Fights 84 preview show.
It's an hour?
Yeah. Sorry.
What
We're
did I
podcast. You
commit
can leave
to?
anytime you want, Elle. You're the best.
No,
If you
no,
wanna
I'll be there. I will be there.
We got Pearl
Oh, that's
Gonzalez,
hilarious.
Dean Tool, multiple fighters. We're going to sell tickets. Go to Ticketmaster.com for Island Fights. We're going to sell that in 30 minutes. But guys, appreciate it. That's Rafael Esparza, El Dawson, myself. And watch Patty the Batty on Saturday night.
Go down.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Next Wednesday, UFC.